Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back for episode number 3 with Anna REI mom Kelly. How you doing, Anna?
I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Yes, so we are reading quotes and seeing how they hit us. This one, I have to admit, I still work on today. I'm not very good at this one. I need to be better, but let me read it for you and see how it hits you. Again, Robert Kiyosaki gave us this quote: "Never say you can't afford something. That is a poor man's attitude. Ask how to afford it." How does that one hit you?
Ooh, I like that. It
Yeah.
is, it's so true. It's something that I think about all the time, right? And we've talked about on this show so many times too. The goal of financial freedom is living below your means while you work on figuring out how to expand your means.
Yes.
So you never become wealthy just by living below your means and saying, I can't afford that and I'm never going to spend. You
Yes.
become wealthy by being disciplined not to spend on the things that you shouldn't until you have the money to do it, but by saying, how can I? How can I expand my means? How can I later afford it? And let's start taking those actions so that I can afford it instead of giving up and saying that I can't. So I totally, align with that.
Yeah, this one again. Again, you look yourself in the mirror, right? This is one I'm not very good at still. There are still things out there that I see through my 20-year-old self, right? Which didn't have a lot of money, didn't have anything. And, frankly, most of the things I could write a check for. But I still feel like, oh, I can't afford that. I still hear myself saying those words. I can't afford that. So I still have money issues, Anna. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I think our foundational years definitely impacts us, right? Like my grandmother was a child of the Great Depression. So I've heard lots of stories about, things that they did, like reusing paper towels, just to save everything. And I'm like, Mama, why would you do that? Just get washcloths, whatever, whatever. And I think it does impact us. I think it did for me a long time too. And there are still things that I ask myself, is it wise to spend?
Yeah.
Right. So, but I think because I've seen the results of this, if you can't afford it now, let's be patient and figure out how to afford it later. So I no longer say I can't afford it. I say it's not wise for me to do this now, but if I really want it, how can I? And then I figure out a way to, okay, I'll give you an example. Okay. So we've both talked about this in the show before, how we, part of maturity really is learning discipline and patience and not just spending on everything we want. Right. I didn't want to drop 16 grand on a jet ski. I'm like, 16 grand on a jet ski. That's ridiculous. I could buy a little small car.
Yeah.
Could I afford to drop 16 grand on a jet ski? Yes. But I thought this is ridiculous. It's not wise. Right. So I was looking for used jet skis forever and I wasn't going to buy a new one. And I was finally like, all these used ones are not that much less than the new ones. And they could break down any day. And I'm not going to like it. So I finally go, okay, if I can do X, and I had an actual target in mind that will make me another $16,000, then I'm going to buy that jet ski. And guess what? I sold the thing that paid for the jet ski and I bought the jet ski. Now I didn't get it because COVID had it fulfilled. I didn't get to fulfill it. So I guess that was my answer. It got put on back order for probably next year. That's what I set a goal. Yeah. When I have this extra 16,000 come in, then I'll go buy the jet ski.
Oh, I haven't had one of those in a while. I have to do something like that. I have to put something out there.
Think about the thing. What is the last thing that you said? I can't afford that.
It's been years. Yeah. I don't really have any. Yeah. I already have my dream car. I already have season tickets I have already checked off everything I ever imagined was possible. I don't have another thing.
So you did think it wasn't, but you did ultimately figure it out.
Oh yeah. Like
maybe not intentionally, but you did figure it out.
Oh yeah. No, we got there. It's just, I haven't experienced that in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to find something like that. Yeah. That's where I think I'm at. But still, yeah, I still look at price tags and go,
Yes. And part of that's wisdom. Part of it's wisdom. Part of it
baggage. It's baggage.
Some of it might be. So just add to, okay, I can't afford that. Well, how can I? The other thing that I love to do, and I tell this to a lot of people that are just starting out too, like I could never afford to go to the beach, like to buy a beach house.
Yeah.
And I say, well, you don't have to afford to buy it, rent it.
Yeah.
Get a rental property that's making you,
X.
$20,000 a year and take that income and go rent the beach house, rent the boat, rent the jet skis, and enjoy your $20,000 annual vacation because of the property that you bought. So you can rent the experience. It's really not, we think we want the boat, right? Everyone I know that has a boat, with the exception of one that just got their yacht, has said the best days were the day they bought it and the day they sold it.
I've heard that.
It's so expensive, they break down and they never use them, right? So it's like, what you really want is the experience of being in that boat.
Right.
So why not rent the experience until you can afford to decide whether or not you want to buy the experience, and then figure out, what can I do to bring in the extra money I need in order to rent the experience or buy the experience?
I like it. I'm going to brainstorm. I'm going to have something ready by next week.
I can't wait to hear.
There you go. Well, Anna, this has been so much fun looking at these quotes. How can people follow you and be part of your world?
Great. So you can find me every week here. We love talking every Wednesday. And you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram at Anna REI Mom Kelly. And my website is greaterpurposecapital.com for passive investors who want to make a meaningful impact with their investment dollars.
Very cool stuff. Thank you very much, Anna. Have a great week.
Thanks, Michael.